Chicago Bulls basketball is getting closer and closer to restarting again. And the question for today is, can the Chicago Bulls go on a run in this second half of the season? And then we're going to end today's episode with a message from the mailbag. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it down, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. If you tuned in with me today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, look, we know that the Chicago Bulls are 26-29 on the season right now, and they are currently slotted in the 9th spot in the Eastern Conference with just about 4 or 5 games out of being out of that 6th seed. They got some guys that's in front of them. They got some challenges that's in front of them. So I got to ask the question, can the Chicago Bulls go on a run for the second half of the season? Now, some people might look at me and say, hey, what is a run? You know what I'm saying? I believe the Bulls got about 27 games left. For me, a run will be something that places the Chicago Bulls at a higher seed than what they are right now. Maybe the 6th seed. What are the chances of the Chicago Bulls getting the 6th seed? I think the chances, there's always a way. And there's always a way that you can go ahead and, make things. Sometimes teams get hot. Sometimes teams get right. And sometimes teams are able to string together some games to where teams can place themselves in new heights within, the NBA. And for the Chicago Bulls, I'm letting you guys know it is going to be tough for the Chicago Bulls to go on a run to end this season. Coming out of the gate, the Chicago Bulls face the Boston Celtics. Then they go on to place the New Orleans Pelicans. Got Detroit. Then you see Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Sacramento. Tough. That's a tough stretch. And then after Sacramento, the Chicago Bulls are still on the road on the West Coast facing the Utah Jazz, the Golden State Warriors, the LA Clippers, and then the Dallas Mavericks come to town. And then the Bulls go see the Pacers. And then the Chicago Bulls face off against the Clippers. So the Bulls in that span will face the Clippers twice, the Golden State Warriors, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Sacramento Kings. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, this road ahead for the Chicago Bulls will not be an easy one. But you never know. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, with all the turmoil and all the challenges and rooting for the Chicago Bulls, it is tough to believe, if I'm being honest, that these guys can go ahead and make a run and find themselves out of the 9th seed and into the 7th or the 6th seed. It's very, very tough. Right now, we're looking at the standings. The Bulls are 4 games out of the 7th seed and 4.5 games out of the 6th seed. 5.5. Wait, excuse me. Yeah, 4.5 out of the 6th seed. And right now, you want to believe that the Chicago Bulls can do a lot of things. But as of right now, the future is very, very blurry or bleak. You know what I'm saying? For a lack of a better word. But, they got some guys right in front of them. For what I think is really going to take and what it's going to come down to is how the Chicago Bulls execute down the stretch. As of right now, we know the Chicago Bulls probably have played the most overtime games in the NBA right now. So that's one thing. We need to go ahead and close out these games. We know that the front office has implemented instead of going with continuity like they did the last few years, now they are going with a competitive team. So for the sake of competition, the Chicago Bulls got some games that is really, really going to see how and will they finish this season on a good note. And I really believe that this second half of the season can be something to where you be like, damn, this second half of the season really defined the Chicago Bulls season. Because all the matchups, we mentioned all those times they play the Clippers, which is twice. They play Boston twice. They play the Washington Wizards several times. Those are games you should be able to take. You're going to play the Indiana Pacers several times. And then you end the season versus the Knicks 3 times. 3 times. So it's going to be extremely tough for the Chicago Bulls. I believe that they could, I'm not going to say that they're going to go on some crazy run, but I believe that they should be in the mix. How far of the mix or how good is the mix going to be? That's still to be determined. Is this going to be one of those rules that you put together to make some good gumbo? Or is this just going to be some bland ass gravy with no seasoning that the Bulls kind of mixed up the incorrect way, and then you got to start all over again? That's one way we're going to have to be able to evaluate this to see if the Chicago Bulls was able to make that rule for that gumbo, or will they be able to mess up that gravy or that rule for the gumbo, or mess up that gravy for those pork chops, mess up the gravies for your mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough sledding ahead for the Chicago Bulls. If we thought that the second half of the season was going to be good to the Chicago Bulls, we were wrong. I'm letting you know now. Check the schedule if you can, so you can view it with your own eyes. This schedule coming up is not going to be easy for the Chicago Bulls, but they have to take care of business, and they absolutely have to win some games that they have no business winning. I think that comes down with playing good team basketball, but it also comes down to those clutch moments. If the Chicago Bulls think that they're going to come out and play these games with lackadaisical effort to start games and then try to find them way and storm back in the second half, you will see more losses than wins. The Chicago Bulls, with the rest that they had, with this week off that they had, they need to be ready to go versus the Boston Celtics, because though the Boston Celtics are coming to Chicago, they are still not a pushover team. These guys are highly efficient on the offensive side of the ball. They are highly efficient on the defensive side of the ball. And that's not to include how Cleveland has constantly whooped on the Chicago Bulls, how the Milwaukee Bucks are trying to find their footing, so they're going to give the Bulls their best foot, how the Sacramento Kings, though they are not where they were last year, they're still a really good team. And then we talk about the Golden State Warriors and the LA Clippers, who are vying for championships, no matter how you want to dice it up or look at it. So the Bulls, they got to get it together. They got to come out this thing firing on Thursday night, and we got to see what can they potentially do for the sake of their record, for the sake of their playoff seeding, for the sake of continuity and competition, baby. We gotta see what's gonna happen. But that's it. Let me know how you feeling. What record prediction will you put out there for the Chicago Bulls these last 27 games? Me, I'm not ready to put it on wax. Matter of fact, we're gonna put it on wax. We talking about, I think the Bulls just go above the 500 mark. That's it. And then I don't think it's gonna be much. I think they can find themselves over 500 within the last 27 games, but I don't think if they do make it past being at 500, not for the totality of the record, we talk about the last 27 games. I think that in the last 27 games, they'll be what, 14 and 13? Yeah, that's 27 games. 14 and 13 is what I'm going with. That's just what it is. I don't want to disappoint myself, so I'm going to just keep it mellow and keep it simple. But hey, before we get up out of here, we got a voicemail from Chicago Bulls Daily. Here it is.
Yeah, what's up for that last call I just did? Just throw that whole call away. My shit tweaking right now, but moral of the story, I just wanted to get off my chest just like how I feel that this second half of the season really gonna go, and just not even the second half, just the whole season, period, man. It's just like it's been a lot going on with this Chicago Bulls team this whole season, man. Trade rumors, just everything, bro. And like I was saying in the last message, like I don't really see us winning a lot of these games coming out of All-Star break. I just watched y'all episode, and when Bobby, you were saying how like coming out the All-Star break, it's gonna be a lot of hard games, and I actually looked up the schedule, man. You not lying, gang. It's gonna get ugly. You hear me? Hey, bro, I swear to God, folks, I don't see us winning, man, bro. We could from when we from our very first game, which is in Boston, by the way. That's how we coming after DeMar DeRozan doing all that talking. Oh, I hope we get our act together. Woo, shut your bitch ass up, bro, and get busy. Tired of hearing that talking shit. Really, it's time to get busy, gang. Talking not gonna get you nowhere. It's time to get busy, short. But anyway, like I'm saying, I just feel like this team, man, it's a lot of work to do. I don't know what they're gonna do with Lonzo Ball, mid, whatever the fuck that shit called. If he ain't coming back, game, excuse my language, but this the third season in a row or the second season in a row where we ain't did nothing. We ain't made, like, you want us to be competitive. But what's competitive about us losing majority of the games? We could still be competitive, but let's be competitive and win at the same time, and not win one game, go on a 3-game losing streak, then come back and win 2 games, then go on a 4-game losing streak. Like, bro, we never gonna make it. Hey, this my city. I love my city. I love my team. I'm gonna ride or die for my team, man. Period, point blank. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Boys Nation, get ready for this second half of the season, gang. Because y'all think shit was hard the first half. I'm trying to tell y'all, shit finna get wicked out here, you ready? But that's it, man. Enjoy y'all Sunday. Sunday, fun day, put down the gun day. Don't pick up no guns, read the Bible, you ready? It's Boys Daily from the low end of that rack. I'm out of.
All right, so shout out Boys Daily for calling in, and you heard him. It's about to get wicked out here. It definitely is about to get wicked. I mapped out the upcoming schedule for the Chicago Bulls, and it is about to be a tough one. Now, you talked about Lonzo Ball. Now, when you talked about it, they got the disabled player exception, which they still haven't utilized. To me, that's still looking as if Jerry Reinsdorf want to reserve some money and keep it in his pocket. That's just me. But who knows? They can go out there and get somebody in the buyout market. I know there's been some names thrown around like a Joe Harris and Cormax. I forgot his name. But those names don't move me. I'm going to be honest with you. Those names don't move me. So, yeah, I mean, I understand you can add another 3-point shooter or a guy that you believe that could develop in the Korkmaz guy. But at the end of the day, this is the team. This is what we have, and this is what we got to push forward with or without whoever they decide to pick up. We know the boys ain't did nothing. We know they ain't about to do nothing until maybe the offseason to where we see some moves come. So as of right now, we got to rock with what we rock with, and that's the team that's the team we currently have constructed. So we just got to see what happened. Me personally, I already gave it to y'all. I let y'all know what it is and what it ain't. So just drop your comments below and let us know. That's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to call in and have your voicemail play like we have Boys Daily voicemail play with a tape from you to give your thoughts on our episode and have me or C-Dub or both of us react to it, make sure you call in. That number is 773-242-9219. This is another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. Make sure you hit like, subscribe. We gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.